Well, good afternoon on this wonderfully beautiful, bright Monday afternoon, which gives us very little to complain about, even though it's Monday. But we'll see, shall we? Right, so apparently it's Mental Health Awareness Week. Now, I'm going to talk about some irony here because what I've noticed is that where a lot of the conversations are happening about mental health are on social media. So we're going to talk about that in a minute. Now, my own personal journey through this has been through being very overweight, having low self-esteem. Now, when I started losing weight in 2005, it wasn't as, I'll use the word fashionable, to just throw out mental health as a problem. It is a problem, it is an issue, and it's an issue we need to discuss. But unfortunately, in a lot of respects, it is, in my opinion, it is becoming a little bit fashionable for people to just chuck it out, particularly when it comes to excusing bad behaviour, just general bad behaviour, which then can sometimes leave the people needing the real help towards the back of the queue. So for me, one of the biggest challenges I find, and I understand it because this is the way we communicate in 2019, but the problem is we're not going to help people's mental health by going onto social media. And another part of irony is I'm doing this video on social media because this is a medium where I can communicate with people. But for me, a big issue here is that we're forcing people to go onto this thing, which is causing a lot of the problems. And what we're going to do this week is we'll go through a lot of those problems as I see it, and we'll discuss them. Because when you are a healthy human being, the first thing, here's the first thing. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is comparison, okay? Now, if you understand the way you are as a human, you will always compare yourself. It's built into you. It's on Maslow's hierarchy of needs. It's built into our psychology. You know, from what I've read and researched and understand my own behaviour, and I do this, and this is what brings me down, it makes me feel like crap, is that we always compare ourselves. It's something you're always going to do. The question is, are you making the right comparisons? Because remember, with social media now, it's a fantastic tool for making yourself instantly feel good, but it won't in the long term. So what people will do is they will post the highlight reel. So they will share the good things that are happening because that makes them feel good. And I do this. I'm not exempt from this. But it is a behaviour that needs attention, and it is a behaviour that needs focus, because if you let that get out of hand, then what happens is you get caught up in this world where you're not living in reality. You're constantly living in this comparison-based world, and you don't know whether what you're seeing on this screen is the actual reality of it, because the actual reality of people's lives is most people are just normal. We're all just trying to figure everything out. None of us are perfect. We've all got our challenges and our stresses. You know, all of us, whether you're fit, thin, rich, poor, whatever, we've all got challenges. So when we present things on social media, most people present the highlight reel because why wouldn't they? But then for some people, that makes you feel like you're doing something wrong. And you're not, if you're just being a normal person. Some of the healthiest people I know mentally, clients of mine, don't use social media at all. Nothing. And it adds, and their lives are not diminished for it. However, for some of us, like myself, I enjoy it. It plays a part in my life, and I'm okay with that. But it has to be controlled. You have to control the screen, the box, because you can get suckered into imaginary worlds that can affect your mental health. And social media is not the place to go for mental health. The place to go for mental health first at low level, and when I say low level, I mean if you don't need professional help, is to talk to a human being, is to connect with a human being, because you've been connecting with human beings for thousands of years. These little boxes have been around for a very small time of our lives. Most of the time, we would just connect with people. So the best way to do it for me, don't compare, connect. None of us are perfect. We're all just trying to figure this out. Most people haven't got a clue what they're doing. So when it comes to this give yourself a break thing, it's true. But the first thing to give yourself a break from, in my opinion, and I'm aware of the irony, is the little boxes. Go and connect with people in real life. So on that point, basically, if you want to, and one thing that is important as well, which I'll talk about later, is the relationship we have with ourselves. And one thing that can destroy the relationship we have with ourselves is the relationship we have with food. So if you're interested in my free event, which I'm doing on the 5th of June, 7 p.m. in Harborne, you can click the link above or below, depending on where you're watching this, and get your ticket. I think we're looking for 20 people. Space is going quick on this. It is a free event. I was asked the other day, will you be selling something? No, I won't be. It is genuinely just a free event with the opportunity to get a little insight into how I help people to just improve their relationship with food and themselves, which means just being normal and just being relatively content, especially around things you eat, because of course that's another big driver for mental health, but I'll cover that off later on. So that's the first one. So once you've watched this video, get off social media for a bit, especially if you're struggling, and go and connect with a human being, but not after you've clicked to come along to my event and hear me talk about how to improve your relationship with food. Have a good day.